Don't talk to, I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way.
Donald Trump whined, pouted, and lashed out at reporters during a conspiracy-filled tiny desk press conference. So I'm going to show you several clips here, all cut together from this press conference, and then I'll discuss what went on here.
I don't know what is going to happen. I know one thing, Joe Biden did not get 80 million votes. And I got 74 million, but there were many ballots thrown away, so I got much more than that. But I got 74 million. 74 million is 11 million more than I got last time. The people are very disappointed that we were robbed. We were robbed. I won that by hundreds of thousands of votes. Everybody knows it. You go down the streets, there are Trump-Pence signs all over the place, and we won that by hundreds of thousands, Georgia, so they're disappointed.
If the Electoral College votes for Joe Biden, will you concede?
Well, if they do, they made a mistake, because this election was a fraud. Just so you understand, this election was a fraud. I mean, they have Biden beating Obama on Obama's vote in areas that mattered in terms of the election, in swing states. And yet he's losing to Obama all over the place. But he's beating Obama in swing states, which are the states that mattered for purposes of the election. So, no, I can't say that at all. I think it's a possibility. They're trying to look between you people. Don't talk to me that way. You're just a lightweight. Don't talk to me that way. Don't talk to. I'm the president of the United States. Don't ever talk to the president that way. All right, I'm going to go with another question. Go ahead. And there's no way that Biden got 80 million votes. By the way, the only way he got 80 million votes is through a massive fraud. There's no way that he got 80 million votes. The vaccines, and by the way, don't let Joe Biden take credit for the vaccines. If Joe Biden, Joe Biden failed with the swine flu, H1N1, totally failed with the swine flu. Don't let him take credit for the vaccines, because the vaccines were me, and I pushed people harder than they've ever been pushed before. And we got that approved and through, and nobody's ever seen anything like it. This election was a fraud. It was a rigged election. I mean, I hate to say it, but this was a rigged, at the highest level, it was a rigged election. This election was a rigged election. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. You can see why they sat him at the kids' table on Thanksgiving. This was a child having a tantrum. He lost the election. Right now, Joe Biden is even going through the transition process. They finally greenlit that part. And still, he will not let this go. This is weakness. It is amazing to me that anybody sees this man bitching and moaning all the goddamn time and sees strength. How can you see strength in this child? Just unbelievable. Take the loss. You lost. The rest of the discussion was all conspiracies about votes in Georgia, votes in Wisconsin. Apparently, all the counties that Trump lost, fraud. All fraud. The votes should have gone to him. All those votes for Biden didn't count. He should have won those votes. Like, just bullshit after bullshit after bullshit. All these cases have been thrown out of court. They have no case. They have no evidence at all. But let me show you. In terms of fraud, weird he didn't bring this one up. Trump supporter arrested for requesting absentee ballot for dead mother. Imagine if this was a Joe Biden voter. Trump would be bringing this up all the time. How, there's this voter in Pennsylvania. One example of many examples where, a Biden voter requested a ballot for his dead mother and tried to vote twice. But no, it was a Trump supporter. And also, before the election, I did a story on this. Trump said multiple times he was telling his voters to vote twice, to send in a mail-in ballot and then go in person and vote, because he didn't trust the mail-in ballot process. So he told his supporters to vote twice. If anybody's going to be doing election fraud or voting more than once, it's going to be Trump voters, not Biden voters. And this is an example of that. Also mention here, the reporter that Trump lashed out at, that was Jeff Mason. Jeff Mason was just asking a follow-up question, pushing back on Trump's BS about electoral fraud. And then, Trump went on his little rant. Don't talk to me like that. Again, the job of the reporter is to question those in power. That's his job. Doing his job, and and Trump lashes out because of it. And then on that as well, before and after this press conference, Trump tweeted multiple times. This one here, just saw the vote tabulations. There is no way Biden got 80 million votes. This was 100% rigged election. Again, this claim about election fraud is disputed. There is no... He said this multiple times during that press conference. No way Biden got 80 million votes. He had no evidence to prove otherwise, to say how Biden couldn't get 80 million votes. But he just says it over and over again. And this is what Trump does. Say the same thing over and over and over again and hope it just sticks and that people don't actually question it because they assume it's just a common knowledge. But he's trying it with this. Obviously, it's a lie. More. I gave a long news conference today after wishing the military a happy Thanksgiving and realized once again that the fake news media coordinate so that the real message of such a conference never gets out. Primary point was made that the 2020 election was rigged and that I won. Yeah, this is a man of strength. Report, Biden's Thanksgiving Day address gets just 1,000 views online, a record low. Observers say a candidate with 80 million votes would get many more online viewers. Numbers don't lie or add up. Now, he appears to be quoting OANN there, or I guess the report. OANN, if you don't know, incredibly, not even conservative, but just full-on conspiracy network that backs Trump 100% no matter what. But I'm not sure if this is true in terms of 1,000 viewers online, but I'm sure it's close to true as, yeah, Joe Biden is not all that popular. If you look at exit polls from the election, the people that voted for Joe Biden voted for him because he was not Donald Trump, not because they loved Joe Biden's platform. It was because they did not like Donald Trump and they wanted Donald Trump out, which, by the way, spells potential disaster for Democrats in the future if they don't find a real message. If you look at Democrats that won their races in big numbers, like AOC, like Jamal Bowman, like Cori Bush, like Ilhan Omar, like Rashida Tlaib, they backed a real platform. Medicare for All, Green New Deal, the entire progressive platform that Bernie Sanders ran on. That's how they won their races. They won their races in big numbers with that, in addition, of course, to actually being a representative of their communities. Now, you look at Democrats that lost their races in the House, they were all centrists. None of them backed Medicare for All. These were all people that were running to the middle because they thought in order to win their race, they had to be more conservative. Well, not true. If you try to be more conservative, guess what? Voters are only going to go for the actual conservative option. And in the meantime, you suppress the vote of people that want a candidate with a real message. So, yes, there is some truth to this. There has to be a real message from Democrats and from Joe Biden, and they actually have to do something. They actually have to show there has to be a massive shift that is noticeable in society over the next couple of years, or else Democrats are going to get destroyed in 2 years. So we have to wait and see for that. But in terms of everything else, Donald Trump, I thought once they approved the transition process for Joe Biden that Trump would have stopped all this crap. But of course, no. He's going to go kicking and screaming, and he will use this as a way to continue bolstering whatever he does in the future, be it start Trump TV, an online network that he's potentially starting, or maybe become a contributor to another conservative network, or maybe try and run again in 2024. But you know he's going to use this. He's going to keep going back to this rigged election, how he would have won. This is going to be his thing, at least for the next several years.